Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video day, and today last night, the NFL announced their 2025 Hall of Fame class. Eli Manning, in his first year being eligible for this list, does not make the cut. That was the big headline. I know a lot of people have said about it. If I had to choose, I probably would have had him in there too. But it is what it is. Manning's in the Hall of Fame. I think at least, if I had to predict, I'd say next season it would not surprise me at all if we see Eli Manning in the Hall of Fame. Let's for instance go over one guy that's getting the Hall of Fame tonight. Got in the Hall of Fame last night. Antonio Gates is one of the best to ever do it at the tight end position. He's an 8-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, and one of the best tight ends ever. When you look at some of the best tight ends ever, for me, I look at for sure the guys that are in maybe the newer generation of Gronk and Travis Kelce, and then I look at guys like Antonio Gates and Tony Gonzalez. But it took him a couple years. I mean, Manning ended his career in the 2020 season, and it was just his first year of eligibility. Antonio Gates stopped playing after the 2018 season. So this was like his second or third year of trying to get in the Hall of Fame. So it took him a couple years. It's not going to surprise me if it takes Manning a year or two or maybe three before he gets into the Hall of Fame. It's nothing against him because he's an amazing quarterback. But maybe he's just not a first ballot Hall of Famer. But Antonio Gates is going in the Hall of Fame. That's going to be a big thing. I'm going to make a prediction right now. Usually we see, the Hall of Fame matchup is always for the Hall of Fame game is always, the two teams that are in the Hall of Fame game have a representative there. And I'm going to predict that the Los Angeles Chargers are going to be playing in the Hall of Fame game. And Antonio Gates is, and I could be wrong. I think I might. Antonio Gates is one of the only players. Well, Antonio Gates and Sterling Sharp are the only two players that are going to the Hall of Fame out of the four on this list that played for one team their entire career. So for me, if I had to bet, I would say I think possible Hall of Fame game will be the Chargers versus the Packers. I think it's either going to be the Chargers. I think it's either going to be the Chargers versus the Packers or the Chargers versus the Vikings. Because also getting into the Hall of Fame is Jared Allen, who was a 5-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All-Pro, 2011 Defensive Player of the Year, but had an absolute amazing career. Started off with Kansas City, but didn't really turn into a great player until he left Kansas City. His last season in Kansas City, he was great. I mean, he had some good seasons in Cleveland, but he just took off when he went to Minnesota and played some great football in Minnesota, then went to Chicago and spent some time with Carolina. But he was his best when he was with the Minnesota Vikings. He played 187 career games, 181 game starts, 6 interceptions, returned those 6 interceptions for 55 yards and 1 touchdown. 58 passes defense, 32 forced fumbles, 19 fumble recoveries, 84 yards returned with 1 touchdown return, 136 sacks, 650 tackles, 171 tackles for loss, and he had 4 safety tackles. So, it was an amazing career for Jared Allen. Welcome to the Hall of Fame. And then the other guy going into the Hall of Fame is Eric Allen, who was a 6-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro, and was the UPI Defensive Player of the Year. And he played for Philly, and he played for New Orleans and Oakland. It's hard to say where his best years were, but I would say his best years were in Philly, because in 93 with Philly, he had 6 interceptions, returned for 201 yards and 4 interception touchdowns with 2 sacks and 64 tackles. It was amazing in 93. But then he had in the year 2000 with the Raiders, 6 interceptions, 144 tackles, 144 yards returned on those interceptions, 3 touchdowns. So he was even good at the end of his career with Oakland, and but was amazing in Philadelphia as well. So I don't really see the Eagles playing in the Hall of Fame game because I don't think you're going to see a team that just goes to the Super Bowl go to the Hall of Fame game, but I could be wrong. So that's why I think with the Packers, Sharp's going to be representing the Packers, Gates will be representing the Chargers. Eric Allen played great everywhere, whether it's Philadelphia, New Orleans, or Oakland. But if I had to guess, he's going to represent the team he'll be going into the Hall of Fame will be the Eagles. And then with Jared Allen, he played good in Kansas City, but he played great in Minnesota. So I expect Minnesota to be he'll be repping Minnesota going into the Hall of Fame. So that's why I think it's going to either be Chargers versus Vikings or Chargers versus Packers in the Hall of Fame game. Last year, we saw the Texans in the Hall of Fame game because they had Andre Johnson going in. We saw the Bears. Who did they have going in? I can't remember who they had going in last year, but they had someone going in too. So I expected that the Chargers will be in the Hall of Fame game, and they'll either face the Packers or the Chargers. The Packers or the Vikings. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out.